Good morning, everybody. This is Melinda. Happy Wednesday. You can see we're in a little different space today. We've got some issues down in the basement today. So I'm filming up in my office. It's a little cramped, but I think it'll work. Let me know if you're joining live. I hope to see some familiar faces. If not, hopefully some people will be joining in just a few minutes. But today's class is all about clearing out excess kapha. So actually I'm going to go back here and sit down. We'll take a moment, give everyone a minute to show up, and just talk for a minute about what that means. So excess kapha. Kapha in Ayurveda is one of the doshas. And really, dosha is just an energy force. We have 3 different doshas that kind of rule everything in our lives within ourselves, and we have it in different balances within each of us, within the times of life, the times of day, the seasons. So it's integral to everything in Ayurveda. And Kapha season is late winter, early spring. So we're really just starting to make that full transition into Kapha season. You'll notice things will be getting a little more damp. Things might be still cool. So it's really that cool, damp time of year. And so today's class is all about moving energy. And all the doshas are ruled by elements. So Kapha is ruled by earth and water. So again, cool, damp, very dense. And so we want to bring that energy up to clear out excess. So when we have excess kapha, you might feel a little sluggish. You might have extra congestion and mucus. I've noticed that in the mornings, especially, like I've gone from a little dry to a lot of extra stuff in my head. And, congestion, depression, that was the one I was looking for. So those days when you're feeling kind of depressed, this is a really great practice. It'll bring the energy up from your root, from the earth, the water elements. And we're going to bring it up into Vata space in our body. So we think about like our lungs and our heart, even up into our heads a little bit. So let's get started today. We are going to start in just an easy seat. I've got my blanket just to prop up my hips. It's not necessary, but we're starting with Kapalabhati breath, or skull shining breath. And so this is a really great breath work to get the energy flowing in the morning. I think we all, myself included, have a tendency to do it really hard. And let's just take it a little bit easy. So sit with a long, tall spine, legs can be crossed or in front of each other. You'll take your fingers to Gyan Mudra, so fingertips of your index finger and thumb connected. Extending your arms out. And we'll do this little bit of a forceful breath. I don't want to call it forceful, but you're going to contract kind of your upper abdominals on the exhale, like this, like a little contraction. Think of it like a heartbeat. So you don't need to do it super hard. You don't need to move your whole body. And you really want the breath to be focused on the exhale. So it sounds like this. I'm doing that a little bit harder than I need to, just to demonstrate. So you can do it a little more softly, more like, as long as you have that little bit of contraction and that little bit of forceful exhale. Okay, so we're going to do this for about a minute. I don't have my timer, so we'll just kind of wing it, and then we'll pause after exhaling everything out. Inhale, hold, and then release. All right. Draw your eyes closed if that's comfortable, or maybe just out in front of you to start. Inhale deeply. And begin. Let your focus draw to your third eye center. If your eyes are not closed, I suggest draw them closed. And let your forehead relax and release. Keep going for a little bit longer. 10 seconds. Exhale slowly. Inhale deeply and hold. Hold the breath comfortably for as long as you can. Let your chin come back slightly, almost to engage that chin lock. Keep holding the breath. Allowing the air to come up into the upper chest, the lungs. And just hold the breath for as long as is comfortable. And then as you're ready, exhale, slowly release. Blink your eyes open. That should feel pretty good. So you feel that energy, that little bit of stagnation moving. And you can do several rounds of that breath. And there's alternate, with Kundalini yoga, you can have your arms out and up. So there's a lot of variations of this, but it's a really great way to just start drawing that energy up through the body and kind of remove that stagnation. Just thinking about where you have blocks and where you need to send that energy. Let's take a few neck circles just around one direction. If you have any neck issues, you can just draw your head side to side, but just beginning to lubricate the joints a little bit. Lubricate the vertebra through the cervical spine. Nice and slow. And then take them in the other direction. Always nice to move through the neck in the morning. Sometimes I forget about this. One more. And then come back to center. All right, and if you have props, move them out of the way. And let's lower down to our low back. We're going to do core work to start today. Get it out of the way, get some energy through the body. You are welcome to place your hands, in fact, actually everyone place your hands just under your seat, palm down, just to give yourself a little bit of support. And we're going to start by just hovering our feet about 6 inches off the mat. And we're going to hold for several breaths. Starting to use your Ujjayi breath. And then lift them up about, 45 degrees? And I did this on a class this week on Glow, but it was a lot more intense. So we're going to do a mini version of it. Lift your feet all the way up to 90 degrees. Reset your hands if you need to. And we'll lower back down 45 degrees. Lucky for you guys, I skipped one, so we'll do one more on the way down. Holding each for 3 breaths. And then lower down. I don't know what angle this is, but maybe a couple feet off the mat. Really feel the core. I'm shaking. Are you shaking? And then hover just a couple inches off the mat. One more breath. And release all the way down. Lovely. All right, you can let your hands go. We're going to take this to bicycle legs. So you can just have your hands flat on the floor. We're just going to begin to pump legs back and forth. Ten more seconds. Two, one. Place your feet flat on the floor. Let your low back relax. You can even hug your knees into your chest if you like. Whew. And I had planned one more, but let's just go ahead and roll up for the sake of time, so we have time for the rest of our class. Come to Tadasana. All right, my arms are going to be cut off here as I do this because of the smallness of this room. We're going to begin to focus on our inhales. So when you lengthen your inhales, we begin to draw that energy up. We want to draw it up into the upper chest. So you can kind of envision that as we move through these poses. We're going to draw our inhales up, and we're going to slowly lengthen them, palms face forward. And then as we exhale, lower all the way down. But as we come up, we're going to come up high onto the balls of our feet. And then exhale, slowly lower. I'm going to move over so you guys can see me a little bit better. All right, so let's do this together. Round down through the feet. Feet about hip width distance apart. Inhale, we're going to come up for 4. Pause at the top, hold the breath. Exhale, lower down. For about a count of 4, I'd say. Inhale up for 5. Pause. Exhale, lower for 4. Inhale up for 6. We're going to keep going like this all the way up to 8. Pause. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. 7. Pause. Exhale, lower down. And inhale for 8. Pause. Exhale, lower. All right. So let's take breath of joy before we begin a little bit of more of our movement. So breath of joy, arms up, arms out, arms overhead, and then down. So I'll do that from the side as well. I'm going to have to step up here. So you guys can, we're going to go up, out, straight overhead. It's a 3-part inhale. So it's okay. So we're going to do this for about a minute. Are you ready? Ground down through your feet. You can get a little buoyant in your legs so your knees can bend. And begin. One more. Come on up to Tadasana slowly. Draw your eyes closed. Notice how you're feeling. You should have that lovely feeling, the energy, prana drawing up through the body. If you can feel it in your skull, you might notice that you're a little bit less congested now. And blink your eyes open. Lovely. Come to the top of your mat. And step your left foot back, coming to Warrior One. You can keep Warrior One with this little bit of angle in the body to start. Press through your left heel. Draw your right hip back. This is a really great way to get into the posture. And you can kind of keep this angle because you don't want to crunch your low back. We want to bring the energy up into the lungs. So as you inhale, bring your arms up. As you exhale, straighten your front leg, arms lower. We're going to do that same increase of inhale. So inhale up for 5, coming into the pose. Exhale, straighten your leg for 4. And then we'll go up 6, 7, 8. When you get to 8, we'll hold. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale for 7. Exhale. And inhale up for 8. Hold there. As you exhale, release your hands behind your low back. Instead of interlacing them like we usually do, think about pressing your palms away from you. So you externally rotate your arm bones. I have a problem with this, so I'm going to grab my wrist and externally rotate that way. My fingers aren't flexible enough. You just want to open through the chest. We're going to pause here for several breaths. And just bringing the energy up into the lungs and the heart, the physical heart. So imagine as you inhale that coming into those areas, filling up through the rib cage, the upper chest. Keep drawing your right hip back. And again, you can keep this little bit of an angle. It'll open through the chest a little bit easier. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, release. Release your arms, straighten your front leg. Come on up, Tadasana. Step your right foot back, coming into warrior one. Again, setting up. Left hip draws back, right heel plants into the mat. Keeping that little bit of a tilt. Lift your arms up, inhale. Exhale, straighten your front leg, arms lower. Inhale forward for 5. Exhale, lower. I kind of forgot this on the other side. Rotate your palms so they're facing forward. So instead of this way, rotate them this way. Inhale for 6. And exhale. Inhale up for 7. Exhale. Inhale up for 8. Hold at the top. Exhale, release your hands behind. Again, interlacing your fingers, pressing them away from you, or if you're like me, grab for your other wrist this time. Press your heart open. Hold here about 4 breaths. Let the energy, the air come into the lungs, the chest, lift the heart higher. Let's do one more breath. Exhale, release your hands, step to the top of your mat, Tadasana. Put your hands to heart center. Just notice, pause for a moment, close your eyes. Notice how you feel the energy moving upward. Notice if your lungs are a little more clear. And as we move through these poses, think about drawing the energy to where you need it. So whether it's mental or physical space in the body, where is it dense and stagnant? All right, do just a little bit of flow, no vinyasas today. Inhale, arms lift straight up. Baby back bend, palms meet, engage your core, navel towards spine to protect the low back. Open up through the heart. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Fingertips plant. Inhale, left foot steps back. Drop the back knee down on the exhale. Inhale, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lower your fingertips, tuck your back toes. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Ground down, rise up, inhale, baby back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll repeat this several more times on the left side. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Fingertips plant, right foot steps back, drop the right knee. Inhale, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, let your fingertips come down, tuck your back toes. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Ground down, rise up, inhale, baby back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take this again on each side, slightly faster. Inhale, arms lift up, baby back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips plant, left foot back, untuck toes. Inhale, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands lower, forward fold. Ground down, rise up, baby back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release the hands, inhale, arms to lift. Baby back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips plant, right foot steps back this time. Untuck toes, rise, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, lower your hands, forward fold. Ground down, rise all the way up, baby back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do one more time each side, release the hands. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot steps back. Back knee drops, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, fingertips lower, forward fold. Inhale, rise, baby back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release the fingertips, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Right foot back. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, forward fold. Ground down, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release your hands. Notice how you're feeling. Step back a little bit on your mat. You're going to move straight into half moon, balancing half moon. So take a forward fold. Release your low back. Let your right fingertips come out, slightly front and even to the right. And begin to lift your left leg. Draw your left hand just to your left hip. So we're going to come into this a little different today. Think about rolling your hip open, lifting your left leg slightly higher, and then spinning your chest open. So we're taking more of a twist in this pose today, not worried about where our left arm is. Look at the horizon in front of you if that's comfortable. One way to help combat depression is to keep our gaze at the horizon or higher. Or if you're in my winter walk challenge group, gently lower down, forward fold. We're walking every day towards the rising sun. Well, we might just be getting out and walking. My goal is to walk towards the rising sun every morning. Made it all days but 2, so I think that's pretty good. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Let's come to it on the other side. Left fingertips come out in front. Right leg begins to lift. Draw your hand to your hip. Begin to spin your chest open. Lift your right leg a little higher than usual, but still flexing the foot. And then as you're ready, begin to lift your gaze. And you can always use a block here or prop under your hand. Use your Ujjayi breath. We're holding things a little longer today, so we're building that endurance and strength, which also taps into our Kapha. Exhale, lower down, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, make your way back, downward facing dog. Set up for your dog, ground into your fingertips, really press into your index, finger knuckle and thumb knuckles. And I always like to kind of pedal out a little bit. Or just take a nice deep bend in your knees, get long in your spine, sits bones go high, and then press your heels down. All right, we're going to try something today. I did this the other day. It was really hard. So if this isn't working for you, take some modifications. And I'm really sore, so we'll see how it goes. So inhale forward to plank. You're going to keep your toes tucked. We're going to move through chaturanga and then up dog with toes tucked. So this will be interesting. All right, you guys ready? Inhale forward. Exhale, lower chaturanga halfway. Inhale, press up to up dog. Open through the collarbones. Exhale, back to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Ooh, feeling it. Inhale, up dog. Hold for 2 breaths. Exhale, chaturanga. One more, inhale, up dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Woo, and press back down dog. You gotta have some major shoulder strength for that one. If you needed to modify, you can always take that from your knees. Now feel the energy moving up. Hold your down dog for 5 breaths. All right. We've got just a couple minutes left. Let's do one more pose and then we'll lower down. Coming to side plank. You can take modifications here. So right palm plants in the middle. You can stack feet. This is the version I'm going to take. Okay. But we're going to modify this. If this is too much, you can always plant your left foot front. You can lower your right knee down. I'm going to come into tree legs. So drawing my left foot up to my right thigh. So we're starting with this arm straight up, more or less. Then begin to open through the chest. So let your left arm come back. Chest spins open, really strong here. This is where if you were taking the modification, just lower your right knee down. That's totally fine. And then exhale, come back through center, downward dog. You're going to take it to the other side. So left palm comes to the center. Spin onto the pinky edge side of your left foot. Right arm extends up. And then if you're taking my version, come to tree legs. If you want to take the modification, lower your left knee down. Begin to open through the chest. Let your right fingertips come behind you. It doesn't have to be far. Gaze lifts slightly. Whew. It's hard to balance here, isn't it? And exhale, lower down, downward facing up. Well done. Really strong today. Come on down to your knees. Sit back on your heels. Let the feeling of the prana moving through you. Notice how you're feeling now. Have you cleared out some of those cobwebs? Okay, we're going to go over just a few minutes today, as I tend to do. I should just put 35-minute classes on these. Let's come to a wide-legged position. You can use your blanket under your sits bones if that works, but not necessary. We're going to take a nice deep side body stretch. So, modifications, I'm going to just place my left arm onto my left leg. You can have it inside of your leg or outside of your leg. So find what's comfortable, but we're going to be really about stretching through the right side body. So inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, bend over to your left. Think about spinning your heart towards the sky, opening. We're just going to hold here for several breaths. So grounding down through your right sits bone. Think about that as your anchor point. Getting a nice deep stretch through the whole right side of the body, down into the waist. Maybe even spinning your gaze up, but not necessary. Keeping it at least neutral at the horizon. We've got a lot of lymph nodes on the sides of our body, so this really helps to stimulate the lymph, which is I heard someone once refer to it as our body's garbage disposal, and I love that idea. So getting the circulation moving, the lymph moving, helps flush out all those toxins that we might be holding on to. Stagnation. Inhale, gently come on up. Take a nice little forward fold just to release your low back. Let's take it to the other side. Gently press up. Right arm can come onto your leg, inner thigh, outside of your leg. Find your position. Inhale, left arm lifts high. Exhale, crescent over to your right. Grounding down through your left sits bone. And then opening your heart if it's comfortable. Maybe just a little bit. So taking a little bit of a twist as we take the side bend. Don't worry so much about perfect form here. This is about deepening into the side body, using your breath to clear out some stagnation that might be holding on. Opening the heart, opening the lungs. It's not about the deepness of the bend at all. In fact, sometimes coming up, out, lifting your heart, and then going back in, you might get a little more benefit from that. So just notice. Find what works for you. 2 more breaths. Inhale gently, come on up, release your hand, little forward fold. Just let your low back round. Kind of releasing some of that buildup of energy. Letting things soften a little bit. All right, let's make our way onto our backs to finish up our practice. I'm going to finish mine today by just taking a really easy supine twist. You can have your arms come to cactus or T. Feet plant, shift your hips slightly to the right and let your knees fall to the left. Gaze comes over to the right shoulder. Just nice twist and stretch through the outer hip and the right side body. If you prefer something else today, you can take your version of a twist. You can just go straight to Shavasana, Happy Baby, whatever you want to complete. Inhale, gaze comes back to center, knees to center. Send your hips back to center. Then shift them a few inches to the left. Let both knees fall open to the right. Gaze over your left shoulder. Gaze comes back to center, knees back to center, hips back to center. Draw your knees into your chest, give them a little squeeze, release the low back. You can massage it a little bit with circles or side to side. And then let's come into just 1 minute of Shavasana to complete our practice. Extending legs long, arms and palms face the sky. Draw your shoulder blades under. Toes come out to the corners of the mat. Let your eyes come to a close. And then just begin to notice all the benefits of your practice today. We're noticing how you might have a little extra energy flowing through the body. You might feel some pulsations. You might feel more open in the lungs and the heart. Allowing your face to soften and your breath to nourish any areas that might need a little extra nourishment. Begin to make some movements with fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Gently bending through both knees, placing feet on the floor. Roll over onto one side, pausing for a moment. Making your way up to seated as you're ready. Drawing hands to heart center. May you carry this energy and vibrance and vitality with you throughout the rest of your day. With much gratitude, I am able to practice with you all this morning. The light, the student, the teacher in me honors the light, the student, and the teacher in each and every one of you. Drawing our thumb knuckles through the third eye, together we bow and say Namaste. Namaste. Have a wonderful day, yogis. By all means, if you have the time, stay and do a meditation right now. It's a perfect time when you have all that energy and prana moving to just sit in silence for a few minutes. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys next week. Namaste.